YouTubers. You know what I was thinking of? If I'm going to be doing this, especially like talking about the song and stuff, I should do episodes. You know, episode 1, episode 2, blah, 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 blah. I've already put out a bunch, but I can go back and switch whatever. So, um, the one that I just did about Thrice, or Dustin Kensrue's solo, was the first episode where I was talking about the song and also played the song. So I think I'll be doing that with this one as well. Today, I will be playing Around Here. There's not too many people that have not heard this song. Very popular in the 90s. Counting Crows were a huge sensation. They had one album, August and Everything After, and it blew up. And I remember talking to a friend of mine that I used to play music with. He actually used to date my mom. Long story, kind of weird. Anyway, he seems to think, and I thought it was a really good analysis, that because they had a couple other hits, but not anything close to their first album. They, like, the lead singer apparently was homeless for a very long time, and there's all kinds of references to homeless in the album, and like there's this one song, I'm trying to remember, where he's talking about being so hungry that he just wants to sit in the hotel too because it's so cold out. I think after going to such fame, I mean, he must have, I think the band put everything they had into this first album. Everything. And then after that, it was like, well, what else do we have? Like, we've got nothing. Like, that's it. Like, and, I mean, they had some stuff. There was a song that was on Cruel Intentions soundtrack. It was like a piano song. I remember that one being kind of pretty. It was a nice little melody, but for the most part, you know, have any of you guys heard of anything, you know, Counting Crows wise? I mean, I don't know. It's almost like the Gin Blossoms. Same thing, like, you know, the one-hit wonder. It's like a one-hit wonder album almost. But anyway, this is a great song. It's easy to play because it's the same chords through the whole thing. You just change it up a bit. But the cool thing about the song is that it's about this girl that just seems so troubled that he meets. And to me, it's interesting because you can kind of take what you want from it. Maybe he met this girl one night when he was homeless and she tried to take her life and she was fucked up on drugs. Maybe it was someone really close to him, I mean, that he met when he was homeless. From what I understand, a lot of the homeless down in Cincinnati, you know, where I live, they all stick together. They all know their names. Like, you know, it gets cold out there, man. I mean, so there's places where they can get warm that they tell each other about. So they all kind of stick together, watch out for each other, which is a good idea because no one else is watching out for them. That's just fucking sad. But anyway, without further ado, this is called Round Here by the Counting Crows, or is it Counting Crows? It's just Counting Crows, off the album August and Everything After. And I'm almost 100% positive because I remember when I bought this CD myself. This was the first song on the album, and it's such an opener. You hear the song and you're just like, Jesus Christ, what am I in for? You know, this is like, it's big, it's epic, it's huge, it's everything and more. And then, of course, there was the Mr. Jones song, which I love that song so much. It's just so catchy and fun, and I don't know. I have a really sweet spot for kind of like poppy, you know, like rock songs like that. So anyway, I'll probably do that song later. It's a little more involved, but it's not much more involved. So, like I said, without further ado, this is Counting Crows, Around Here. Step out the front door like a ghost into the fog where no one notices the contrast, white on white. And in between the moon and you, the angels get a better view of the crumbling difference between wrong and right. As I walk in the air, between the rain and through myself and back again, where? I don't know. Maria says she's dying. From the door I hear her crying, why? And I don't know. Round here, we always stand up straight. And round here, something radiates. Maria came from Nashville with a suitcase in her hand. She said she'd like to meet a boy that looks like Elvis. Well, she walks along the edge of where the ocean meets the land, just like she's walking on a wire in a circus. She parks her car outside of my house and takes her clothes off. She says she's close to understanding Jesus. Well, I know she's more than just a little misunderstood. She has trouble acting normal when she's nervous. Round here, we're carving out our names. Round here, we all look the same. Round here, we talk just like lions, but we sacrifice like lambs. Round here, she's slipping through my hands. She says, I know it's only in my head. And I said, shh, I know it's only in our head. But the girl and the guy in the parking lot said, man, you should try to take a shot. Can't you see my walls are crumbling? Then she looks up at the building, says she's thinking of jumping. She says she's tired of life. She must be tired of something around here. She's always on my mind. Around here, hey man, we got lots of time. Around here, never sent to bed early, and nobody makes us wait. Around here, we stay up very, 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 very late. I can't see nothing, nothing round here. Oh, would you catch me if I'm falling? Would you catch me if I'm falling? Would you catch me if I'm falling down on her? I said I'm under the gun. Around here, Man, I said I'm under the gun around here, and I can't see nothing around here. So anyway, we're at about 10 minutes now. I didn't have too much else to say about the song. I don't know if you guys noticed, my pick dropped at the very end, and it's like when you're like yelling and screaming and getting really into it. It's just kind of funny because like I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of kept trying to strum. Guess I need to have like one of those little pick things up there, but I'm not that professional yet. I'm just a little punk trying to do a couple songs. Anyways, I hope you guys like this. Again, like I said, with all sincerity, comment. Let me know what you think. Is my voice bad? Is it too high? Is it too low? Do you like the sound of the guitar? Do you like the microphone? Do you think the reverb's too much? Would you like to join the band? Would you like to hang out with me? Would you like to talk about music? Do you like Counting Crows? Do you like Senses Fail, the band I'm wearing right now, which is a hardcore band, very different than Counting Crows? I have a very vast, collection of music. I love the Beatles. I love Hatebreed. I don't know how to explain it. I used to just listen to Metallica and Megadeth and Nirvana and just those certain types of bands, and that was it. But you get to a certain point in life where you have different moods. Jesus, do I have different moods? Not only have I been diagnosed as bipolar before, which I think is not true, by the way, but I don't know. Anyway, I think it's more depression, but I was just talking to my friend's a surgeon, and it sounds weird, but I swear to God, my friends know. Ryan, I've known him since he was 6. Best friend in the world, and he's a surgeon. It's fucking crazy. He grew up in a 1-bedroom apartment with a single mother, and he's a fucking surgeon. Don't tell me you can't fucking do anything, dude. This guy rules. It's fucking awesome. I'm just gonna go be a surgeon. And he just did it. And it was okay. I don't know. I still can't get over that. But anyway, I talked to him for a long time today, and we were kind of going over that a little bit, how people perceive things and stuff. I don't know. I think this song really means a lot to me, just in the sense of I've had a fear of being homeless before. I mean, I haven't been homeless, thank God, but only to the thanks of my family. If it wasn't for my family, I'd be just as homeless as anybody else. And all of that has to do with substance abuse, mental health issues, and that's what faces the homeless crowd, and that's what you need to look at, is not judging them, rather, but looking at why are they here, and what can you do to get them off the street, I'll share on here. I'm a case manager, or a counselor too, I guess you could say. So I work with people all the time, and I was able to help a guy get an apartment that had 3 kids. No, 4 kids, actually. One of them wasn't his. It was the girl he was dating that died. It was just so sad. And I'm like, dude, and he calls me, he has no food. And I'm like, and they were just moving in that day, but the apartment was really nice. And I'm like, thank God you've got a nice apartment. You deserve it, anybody that talks shit about that, fuck you, man. Here's my opinion coming out again. I'm sorry, but it was 25 degrees outside, and he's walking around with a 3-year-old girl, 2 2-year-olds, and a little infant in a little carriage thing, and trying to cover up with blankets. You're gonna tell me that you don't want your tax dollars to go to that? Fuck you. What do you want them to go to? I would gladly give my money to anyone that would, really use it. But anyway, like I said, I start rambling and talking, and anything you guys want to talk about or you think is interesting, please hit me up on here, because I'm going to start kind of labeling these as different sessions, like the Counting Crows session or the Thrice session or whatever. I think that would be kind of cool, and kind of add to, it being an actual show or like a podcast rather than just me playing music. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Again, this was Counting Crows. The album is called August and Everything After. It was their first album, and I really like that song. Like I said, the girl Maria in there, you really got to wonder, like, who is this girl? I love that. I love that about music, when people kind of leave it up to you, like, who is this person, like, that he met? I mean, maybe he would tell you if you met him, but maybe he would just let you kind of make your own decision. I met her one night at a bar. Shot up with her one night. Met her at a hotel. She was a prostitute. She was my sister. Who knows? But the point is it's a really emotional song, and you can tell he's talking about being homeless. Talking about feeling like, the moon and the angels get a better view of the crumbling difference between wrong and right. I walk in the air between the rain, through myself and back again, and where, I don't know. I remember I know a lot of homeless people, and I remember them getting, like, literally bored because they don't have anything to do. They try to get food and money all day, but that's just what they do, and they just walk around all day long, and they get kicked out of parks. They get kicked out of areas. They get kicked out of buildings. So they're getting kicked out of everywhere, so they just walk everywhere. I mean, so I guess you don't see a lot of fat homeless people. They're very fit because they're walking all the time. Sometimes you'll see some with some instruments, which are cool. I really think that's awesome. At least they have something to, and that's a way for them to be able to, like, make some money. I mean, what else are they going to do? I mean, a lot of times they wind up selling drugs, and then they get thrown in jail, and it's like, we wonder why. They tried to sell drugs so they could eat and feed their kids, you idiot. You'd do the same thing in this situation. I know I would. I wouldn't think a heartbeat. If I had to sell a drug to feed my kid, if it was death for my kid or selling a drug, I would sell a drug. No doubt about it. I mean, why would you? You're telling me you would pick the law over your child? You'd be at the funeral, and that's what you would do? You would tell your wife or your significant other or your grandmother, your mom or, the grandmother, oh, well, selling drugs is illegal, so I let him die. No. I mean, there's a very big problem with judgments in this country and how people act and feel. So anyway, tell me what you think. Trevor Braukman, Blue Delusion, also known as Blue Delusion. Around here, Counting Crows. Thanks, guys.